Welcome to this webinar. My name is Stephanie, and today's topic is about contributing to skills assessment. This unit describes the performance outcomes, skills, and knowledge required to assist with supporting the ongoing skill development of a person with a disability. It involves following and contributing to an established, individualised plan and using a positive, strengths-based approach. This unit applies to individuals who work with people with a disability in a range of community services and health contexts. Work performed requires some discretion and judgment and may be carried out under regular direct or indirect supervision. The skills in this unit must be applied in accordance with the Commonwealth and state territory legislation, Australian standards, and industry codes of practice. In this session, we will learn about contributing to skills assessment. A disability is a condition that limits a person's capabilities. It may affect a person's mobility, ability to learn things, or appropriate communication with others. Different disabilities can affect people in varying ways. Under the Disability Discrimination Act of 1992, disabilities include total or partial loss of the person's bodily or mental functions, total or partial loss of body part, the presence of organisms causing disease or illness in the body, the presence of organisms capable of causing disease or illness in the body, the malfunction, malformation, or disfigurement of a part of the person's body, a disorder or malfunction that results in the person learning difficulty from a non-disabled person. Under the Disability Discrimination Act of 1992, disabilities include the following: a disorder, illness, or disease that affects a person's thought processes, perception of reality, emotions, judgment, and behaviour. Disabilities are also those conditions that may apply to these situations. There may be conditions that are presently existing. There may be conditions that previously existed but no longer exist. There may be potential conditions, including genetic predispositions to disabilities. There may be conditions that are attributed to a person. An older person who gradually developed a vision impairment can no longer do things they could do when they were younger. A child with cerebral palsy cannot participate in school activities such as team games and physical exercises. An adult with an anxiety disorder finds their daily living activities difficult. People with a disability require help from different professionals such as school staff, specialists, doctors, and support workers that provide assistance for skills development. Skills development involves identifying gaps in a person's skill set and improving those skills accordingly. A strengths-based approach. For people with disability, the gaps usually identified are for skills that focus on living independently in society, such as personal health, social, communication, daily activities, and more. As such, you need to use a strengths-based approach to help address these gaps and aid in the person's skills development. The strengths-based practice refers to focusing on the knowledge, skills, and capabilities of a person with disability, rather than the things they cannot do due to their disability. This involves recognizing the person's strengths for them to see themselves positively. Knowing their strengths allows them to see themselves at their best. This gives the person an idea of what changes can improve the quality of their life. Strengths-based practice is also considered as a work practice theory in supporting persons with a disability. The practice focuses on the person's self-determination and strength. It helps in setting outcomes that will lead to building the person's individual strengths. The strengths-based practice has principles such as a person with a disability has potential and unique strengths and capabilities that will determine who they are. Capacity building is a process and is based on a goal set by the person with a disability. A person with disability becomes more confident when they are encouraged to develop a skill that they already have. Focusing on strengths and seeing challenges as capacity fostering creates hope and optimism. Use of language creates reality persons with disability. All individuals have the urge to succeed, explore the world, and make themselves useful to others. Valuing differences and the essential need to collaborate with others is important for persons with a disability. Persons with a disability need to know that there are others who care for them. A person with a disability's perspective that reality's primary must be valued and given importance. As a disability support worker, one of your responsibilities is to contribute to your clients' ongoing skills development. This means supporting your clients to gain, improve, or maintain the skills they need to live an independent life. Using the strengths-based approach allows you to support your clients to develop these skills they already have. This can encourage them to try learning other life skills that can help them live independent lives. Contributing to skills assessment. Building the skills helps people with a disability live independent lives. Developing these skills makes sure that a person with a disability can achieve a good quality of life. It can help people with a disability take an active part in their daily activities. For this to happen, you must first assess what skills the person with a disability needs to improve on. Practical life skills that a person with a disability may develop are the following: life skills such as cooking and domestic skills, home maintenance, budgeting, and public transport and safety. Vocational skills include work readiness, task analysis, and time management. Health skills such as nutrition, personal care, maintaining physical health, and sexual health. Social skills such as developing relationships, personal presentation, and local community involvement. Skills assessment means evaluating the person with a disability's ability to perform a task using a certain skill. Contributing to skills assessment ensures that the development will align with the person with a disability's specific needs to live a better life. Different people live different lives, so you must be fully informed about a person with a disability's day-to-day life to pinpoint their needs correctly. Failure to do this can lead to the person with a disability having unmet needs, which can lower the quality of life and increase their dependence on others. In this session, you will learn how to contribute to the skills assessment of persons with a disability. You will accomplish this by learning to observe the person's skills and competencies in a respectful manner, support the engagement of other stakeholders in the skills assessment, record all observations accurately and objectively, provide feedback about changes in the person's demonstration of skills. Observe the person's skills and competencies in a respectful manner. There are two types of observation: direct and indirect. Direct observation, the observer is present and directly watching and guiding the person being observed. Indirect observation, the observer is easily reachable but not directly watching the person being observed. As a support worker, you must assist persons with a disability to develop and maintain their skills and competencies. Doing so will ensure that they will be able to live a better quality of life. To achieve this, you must be able to observe your clients in a respectful manner. Respect the client's human rights. Respect refers to believing that a person with a disability is valued. This involves providing support that recognises the rights of your clients. Respectfully interacting with the client can increase their self-worth. This leads to the client being positively seen by those around them. As a support worker, you must respect the client by building their feelings of trust, safety, and well-being. When the client feels that they are safe and well valued, they can express themselves more. To observe clients in a manner that respects their rights, you must be able to follow these positive approaches and strategies. Treat the client as you would anyone else. Use people-first language. Do not make assumptions for the client. Avoid patronizing the client, and support the client's choices and decisions. Human rights framework of service. Human rights are used to recognize and protect the dignity of all humans, which serve as a basis for laws and acts governing people and communities. Frameworks are supporting ideas, concepts, findings, and laws that support and regulate a system. The Australian Human Rights Commission of 2019 defines human rights as standards that recognise the inherent value of each person, are based on principles of dignity, equality, and mutual respect, are about being treated fairly, treating others fairly, and having the ability to make genuine choices in our daily lives. The Australian government agreed to respect and uphold many human rights treaties, including the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women, Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhumane or Degrading Treatment or Punishment, Convention on the Rights of the Child, Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. As a care worker, you must remember that these treaties support basic human rights. Their existence does not mean that there are many sets of rights for different kinds of people. These treaties are only meant to emphasize the rights of certain groups of people. Their rights are misunderstood or ignored by the state. As such, the rights of people receiving support may also be considered as factors that affect them. The rights of people receiving support can be found in the following declarations and treaties. That's the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability. Additionally, care workers who support persons with a disability must understand the CRPD. The conventions contain many basic human rights that are also found in the UDHR. The CRPD contains a general and specific obligations. These aim to protect the rights of all persons with a disability. There are two documents in the CRPD. They are the actual rights of persons with disability that must be upheld, an optional protocol for upholding these rights and addressing complaints. It is crucial to note that Australia has signed and accepted both documents. The CRPD was signed on July 17, 2008, and the optional protocol was signed in July of 2009. The Convention explains what rights persons with a disability are entitled to and what actions that affect them that must be avoided and what they must be supported with. The National Disability Insurance Scheme, NDIS, implements a quality and safeguarding framework to ensure services uphold the human rights of persons with disability. The framework is necessary to ensure that capability is built in the new market-based system, to ensure that the rights of the people with disability are upheld, to ensure that benefits of NDIS are realised. The NDIS quality and safeguarding framework has objectives to support persons with a disability. These objectives are upholding the rights of people with disability, including their rights as clients, facilitate informed decision making by people with a disability, achieve person-centred outcomes for people with disability in ways that support and reflect their preferences and expectations, provide safe and fit purpose for people with a disability, allow people with disability to live free from abuse, violence, neglect, and exploitation, enable effective monitoring and responses to emerging issues. As a support worker, you must be familiar with the laws that underpin this framework. Australia expresses and enforces these obligations that disability service providers must meet through the following legislation: the Disability Services and Inclusion Act of 2023 and Australia's Disability Strategy 2021 to 2031, and the National Disability Insurance Scheme Act of 2013. Upholding clients' dignity. To uphold clients' dignity, you must understand the theory of social devaluation and how it impacts a person's quality of life. Social devaluation refers to the systemic belief that people with a disability have less social value than others. Social devaluation impacts a person's quality of life in the following areas: skill improvement. Social devaluation hinders a person with disability from further developing their skills. When they are seen as less compared to others, they tend to stop improving themselves and believe that they cannot do any better than those people without disabilities. Mental well-being. Social devaluation increases the risk of stress, anxiety, and depression in persons with a disability. The feeling of non-inclusiveness and isolation will cause them to see themselves less compared to others. Opportunities. Social devaluation limits the opportunities for persons with a disability. Some schools do not offer support services such as ramps and other assistive technologies, which hinder persons with a disability from receiving the same quality education as others. This works the same for organisations that see them as people who perform less satisfactorily compared to others. Social role valorisation. The theory of social role valorization promotes the idea that persons with disability must be given opportunities to live the same kind of lives as non-disabled people. SRV provides interacting strategies for challenging the devaluation of persons with a disability, which may involve image and competency enhancement. The definition of image enhancement, it allows persons with a disability to validate their sense of worth, which enables them to present themselves and their achievements. The definition of competency enhancement, it allows persons with a disability to improve their skills and knowledge in order for them to be seen as good at certain things. To improve competency and image, you can use positive approaches and strategies, such as focusing on positive attributes to lessen the embarrassment of the client, strengthen the client's sense of identity, acknowledge that appearance can increase self-esteem, create a sense of meaning in the client, and have ways for the client to join in their community activities. According to the World Health Organization, social and emotional well-being are closely related to the concept of mental health. A person with a stable mental health has a capacity to do the following: realize our own abilities, cope with everyday stresses of life, work productively, and contribute to the community. Disabilities are influenced by the following factors: underlying health conditions, impairments, activity limitations, and restrictions on participation. You can promote a quality of life of your clients by presenting them with social and emotional well-being frameworks. These frameworks include policies or strategies that aim to create an inclusive community. They are the Australia's Disability Strategy of 2021 to 2031, policies to promote social and emotional well-being. So personal and community support. People with a disability are able to access support that meet their needs. The NDIS provides eligible people with permanent and significant disability with access to reasonable and necessary disability supports. The role of informal support is acknowledged and supported. People with a disability are supported to access assistive technology. Health and wellbeing. All health services providers have the abilities to meet the needs of people with a disability. Prevention and early intervention health services are timely, comprehensive, appropriate, and effective to support better overall health and well-being. Mental health supports and services are appropriate, effective, and accessible for people with a disability. Disaster preparedness, risk management plans, and public emergency responses are inclusive of people with a disability and support their physical and mental health and well-being. The Disability Gateway. These strategies promote social and emotional well-being, such as employment, aids and equipment, transport, and leisure. The psychosocial recovery-orientated frameworks, principles that promote social and emotional well-being are supporting personal recovery, valuing living experiences, NDIS and mental health services working together, supporting informed decision-making, being responsive to the episodic and fluctuating nature of the psychosocial disability, a stronger NDIS recovery-orientated and trauma-informed workforce. Support the engagement of other stakeholders in the skills assessment. By now, you already know how to use a strengths-based approach to assess the skills of your clients. This involves observing the client to understand their current skills and competencies. This understanding helps you assess what skills are required further. Aside from observing the client, you must also support all stakeholders of the individualised plan. The individualised plan can cover a range of support plans that respond to a person with a disability's different needs. The person with a disability's individualised plan should include an outline of the person with a disability's identified needs, goals, and preferences. The services that will be provided to address the identified needs. Who will provide the services mentioned? Every detail in the individualised plan then must be agreed upon by all stakeholders, which include the person with the disability, the family of the person with a disability, the carers of the person with a disability, and others identify the person with a disability. Engaging with other stakeholders can help in the skills assessment of the persons with disability. Family, friends, and primary caregivers can confirm the identified needs. Their involvement can lead to activities and programs in the individualised plan. These activities and programs should best suit their preferences and goals. The person with a disability may want the following people involved. Advocates. These are non-lawyer professionals who stand up for the rights of persons with a disability. Behaviour consultants assist a person in understanding and managing their behavioural changes. Speech pathologists are specialists who work with persons with a disability who have difficulties in communication or swallowing. Developmental officers are in charge of the programs of the organisation the person with a disability belongs to. Support workers provide care and help to clients in performing daily tasks. Support school staff include various staff members to ensure that students learn in safe and supportive environments. Employment officers assist the person with a disability in gaining the skills and confidence they need to find and secure employment. Occupational therapists provide physical care to persons with a disability to help improve the person with disability's physical skills. Programming staff ensures that programs and events in the organisation are fully accessible to everyone. Technicians, they support persons with a disability in developing their communication, mobility, and social skills through use of assistive technology. Stakeholders involved in the provision of a disability support. Each individual plays an important role when providing disability support to the client. They each have their own responsibilities, ensuring that the client gets the support they need. Each individual plays an important role when providing disability support to the client. They each have their own responsibilities in ensuring that the client gets the support that they need. Below shows the roles of the stakeholders involved in the provision of disability support. So a disability support worker's role is providing assistance with domestic tasks and chores, providing companionship and support in developing existing skills and confidence. Their responsibilities are assisting the client with domestic tasks and chores by planning menu, cooking, cleaning, etc. Supports the client in developing skills, abilities, and confidence by encouraging them and giving them opportunities to showcase their talents and capabilities. Supervisors' roles is supervising the senior support workers in monitoring individual planning and providing mentoring and shared knowledge practice. Their responsibilities include overseeing the monitoring of individual planning by ensuring that support provided to each client is in line with the individual plans and goals, providing mentoring and sharing knowledge practice by conducting trainings and increased supervision to support workers as they learn a new task. Carers' roles are providing personal care, example showering, dressing, etc. They provide medications based on the medication record and schedule. Their responsibility is assisting the clients with personal care by helping them in dressing, lifting, showering, toileting, etc. Reminds and urges the client to take necessary medications based on their medications record and schedule. The family's role is providing the special needs of the client, providing support, love, and care for the client. Their responsibilities are providing the special needs of the client by doing specific tasks for them, such as reading for the blind, interpreting for the deaf, or assisting in mobility for the physically handicapped, and providing support, love, and care by ensuring that the client receives the affection they need that will help them boosting their confidence and self-esteem towards facing their life's challenges. Health professional roles are diagnosing health issues relevant to the client's disability and providing health treatment and advice relevant to the client's disability. Their responsibilities include diagnosing the health issues that may arise from the client's disability by conducting checkups and analysing the findings, by providing health treatment and advice by giving prescriptions on the medications or equipment that must be administered to the client, or provide referrals to other specialists. Supporting the involvement of persons with a disability. To support the involvement of the client's carer and family during skills assessment, consider the following strategies. Discuss the identified characteristics of the client with their family and carer. These include the following: skills, competencies, strengths, and preferences. To support the involvement of the carers and family during skills assessment, consider the following strategies. Ask the client's family and carer for relevant information about the client's characteristics. Explain to the client's family and carer the importance of their engagement during the skills assessment. Provide general instructions on how the client's family and carer can engage with this client's skills assessment. Record all observations accurately and objectively. Good communication is an essential part of providing support to the clients. To do this, you must record all your observations accurately and objectively. The rationale behind the regards the continuity of quality support service. This means all stakeholders of a person with a disabilities individualised plan must have access to the documents within the plan. Failure to do this may lead to the person with a disability being unhappy with the support provided to them. As a support worker, you must be familiar with your organisation's policies and procedures. These policies and procedures are for documentation. Doing so will ensure that all relevant documents are well recorded and maintained for future reference. Your organisation's policies and procedures may include the requirements such as style guide. This sets the standards to follow when recording data. Record storage. It is a part of responsibility to securely store all documents and reports within your organisation's database. Privacy, confidentiality, and disclosure. Clients have the rights to decide on what information others can know and what should be kept confidential. For your records to be useful to everyone who may need access to them, you must meet the following criteria. They must be timely. Having timely records is important in order to keep track of important dates and time relevant to providing the necessary services for the client. Accurate. Having accurate records is important to ensure that the client information is correct and authentic. Objective. Having objective records is important in order to get exact explanation of what happened during the events that involve the client. Detailed. Having detailed records is important in order for relevant people, such as allied health professionals and support workers, to see important matters that they need to consider in service provision. As you record your observations of your client, you must do so in consultation with your supervisors. Remember that your supervisors must oversee the monitoring of individual planning to ensure that the support provided to each client is in line with the individual plans and goals. To consult with your supervisor regarding the information reported, you may consider strategies such as asking the supervisor regarding the accuracy and objectiveness of the information reported, ask the supervisor regarding the usage of terms of the information reported, actively listen to the responses of the supervisor, and take note of the supervisor's responses. Provide feedback about changes in the person's demonstration and skills. The person with a disability may perform a certain skill similarly or differently in various environments. Changes may also occur in the person with disability status, which can impact their skills development. These changes may involve changes with a person's medication conditions, improvement with a person's disability, and challenges being encountered by the person. One of your duties as a support worker is to share these changes with your supervisors. You must discuss how each change may impact the person with the disability skills development. Doing so will aid in the accurate assessment of the person with disability's level of skills. With an accurate assessment, the person with a disability can receive the support they require to adequately develop their skills. Providing feedback. Feedback, when appropriately provided, is a powerful tool. It offers an overview of the performance observed to make sure that the client is moving towards their objectives and goals. Consider these strategies when providing feedback to your supervisor. Review your observations of the client. Share information regarding changes with the client's demonstration of skills, and share information regarding changes in the person with a disability status. In this part of the session, we have learnt about contributing to skills assessment In the next session, we will learn about assisting with ongoing skills. Your next step is to go to your tutor's online learning portal and complete the assessment activities. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you found the session informative.